Alright, so I'm sure that all of you have had like synthetic multivitamin supplements part of your diet at some point in your life. Be it from when you decide to make healthier choices in your life and start taking vitamins with your food, or maybe it could have been when your parents were giving you those Flintstones little multivitamins, but you were having them in your childhood. Well, what's it called? The point I'm going to have to make today is that I'm against the use of synthetic multivitamins because they don't tend to be exactly what is advertised. The points I'd like to make are that the fact that most multivitamins don't actually tend to work on people, and the fact that multivitamins can also cause harm to your body. So going off the first point I'd like to make is that on how they don't tend to work for all people. I'm sure you've seen the commercials where people are working out and then taking multivitamins along with a healthy diet. Well, the fact is that they're probably that healthy because they're actually working out and taking those good foods instead of taking the multivitamins, and that's making them fit and able to do all this stuff. In a study run by the Archive Internal Medicine had run a study on the Women's Health Initiative over an 8-year span, and it found that of the women who were participants in the study, 41.5% reported using multivitamins. Most of the women who did use multivitamins had been white, located in the western United States, had a lower body mass index than women who didn't use vitamins. Also tended to eat fruits and vegetables more commonly than women who didn't use multivitamins, and also tended to be more physically active. Multivitamin users also tend to drink more, but also smoke less, which could explain the fact that there was a lower risk for cancer in people who used multivitamins at the time. The study also went on later to say that during the 8-year period, 9,619 cases of breast, colorectal, endometrial, renal, bladder, stomach, lung, and ovarian cancer were reported, as well as 8,751 cardiovascular events and 9,865 deaths. But the data showed that there was no significant gap between people who had used multivitamins and people who had not used multivitamins during the study, which showed that most of the time the people who used multivitamins didn't extend their life or have prevention to cancer or any other disease during that period. Another reason to why these supplements tend to not work could be explained by Dr. Philip Maffleton, who is a nutritional researcher and also wrote the big book of Health and Fitness, in which he said, in nature, vitamins are packaged with many other molecules, including minerals and cofactors. These enable the body to use the vitamins. Since synthetic vitamins are isolated, they may not be recognized by the body, and the body may reject the vitamin, and the vitamin will be excreted from the body or just stored as fat in the person's body instead of actually used. Next, I'd like to move on to the fact of how these multivitamins can tend to harm you instead of actually do nothing or help you. Many times, like, a company will up the dosage of vitamins so that people can be healthier from the multivitamin, but this will also higher the risk of multivitamins at the same time. One instance of this would be like in the synthetic version of vitamin A, for instance. It is also known as retinol palmitite, which is stronger than vitamin A, but also significantly more toxic than vitamin A itself. But not all effects of multivitamins harming people tend to be instant, like poisoning them or something. Some effects tend to happen over a long period of time. An example of this would be in a study run by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, where it found adults taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C tended to have problems with energy metabolism later in their life as they took vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C over their daily lives. Another case where synthetic vitamins have actually done more harm than good is in a study run by the National Cancer Institute in hopes of finding that vitamin E they hope to find that vitamin E can help people grow a resistance to cancer. But instead of growing resistant, they found that actually people had a 17% chance of more likely getting cancer than not getting cancer at all. The most common problem with vitamins though is that people tend to overdose on these things. Since vitamins don't tend to fill you up like the foods that they come from, many people take advantage of vitamins thinking that it wouldn't cause problems. But an overdose of vitamins can cause serious health problems to the person that's taking them. An overdose of vitamin A can cause severe abdominal pain, mood swings, exhaustion, and decreased appetite. And if not corrected, it could lead to serious liver problems for a person later in their lives. Overdose of vitamin D could result in excess calcium in the person's body. This would then lead to calcium deposits forming in lungs, heart, and their kidney and their body, which would cause muscle pains, bone pains, and other pains in their body throughout their life. An overdose of vitamin C could cause some severe side effects, such as increased bleeding if they are injured, since vitamin E would cause your blood to not clot when you have an injury on your body, causing blood to run out more out of your body. This would have to be counteracted by medicine that is made for not causing your blood to come out much. Well, now the fact is that these overdoses happen because people don't fill up on vitamins. They tend to eat more unhealthy and think that the vitamin supplements can fill in the missing fats from eating unhealthy. Well, now that I put out the negatives of multivitamins, hopefully the next time you decide on starting a new healthy diet, you choose to have a healthy, balanced diet of grains, meat, and other vegetables and fruits, instead of choosing a vitamin supplement to keep healthy.
Jerry, share with us your insights, please.
I thought Jesse did a good job on his speech. I like the attention grabber he used by trying to create associated with us and for the people who do take those synthetic vitamins. I felt he did reinforce and quote his facts and his facts well, but some problems I had was that I saw is you kind of like lost your place. You had to read a little. You kind of forgot the name of certain words. I think probably it was just the nerves getting to you, which gets to us. But overall, I think you did a good job in reinforcing your speech with facts.
All right. I like the attention device quite a bit. I thought that worked well to get everybody to kind of relate to the subject. It's clear what your point of view is. I do think that you could maybe phrase your objection a little bit more effectively instead of just saying, well, I'm against this. I think that there's probably another way that you can express it, but we know exactly where you're going because you've got a good preview that sets up the content. I'm going to agree with Jerry. I thought you did an excellent job citing the information during the presentation. You were very consistent about that, and there was a lot of information in the speech that's included. It doesn't just sound, though, like you're presenting a list of data. I thought you explained most of the concepts as you were talking about them also. So we got your explanation, sometimes a little bit of a description, plus we got a quote or a statistic showing us some information on those points, and I thought those things combined really well to build up the argument argument that you're developing. On the delivery issues, your voice, I think, is very solid. Your eye contact, you did have to look down, but most of the time it did seem clear that you were looking down just to get the statistical data or to get the quote right. It didn't feel to me like you were reading your information. Most of the time you're talking to us and explaining things to us. So I thought that worked pretty well. I kind of bounced back and forth a little bit on that, but I'm coming down on the side that you really are engaging the audience a little bit more. Gestures are a little bit limited. You still seems like you're a little awkward up there. You're not sure where to put your hands. You need to be a little bit more engaged. One of the things that fits in this category, and I think I may have mentioned it to you before, I don't remember, you're standing as far away from the audience as you can. You're like right up against the board there. They don't bite, well, maybe William bites a little, but he's not going to bite hard, so you can kind of step forward toward us and engage us a little bit more. That just seems to be a little bit off-putting, but that's a little thing that you can work on, I think. Everything else I thought was really solid when it comes to the content. All right, thank you.